What up, though? For Shinola Detroit, I'm Titus Hayes, and welcome to The Movement. This is the show where we build relationships while we build watches, right here at our factory in Detroit. And today we'll be joined by Joe Gatto. Hailing from Staten Island, Joe Gatto is a comedian, actor, and producer who rose from fame with the hidden camera prank show Impractical Jokers, alongside his comedy troupe, the Tenderloins. Known for his deadpan delivery and willingness to commit to a bit, Joe is currently taking his solo stand-up act on the road. Beyond pranks, he's a podcast host, animal rescue advocate, and self-proclaimed champion of pastries. Joe, welcome to the factory.
This is fantastic. I'm excited to be here. I am a champion of pastry.
You are? What's your favorite pastry?
Oh, cannoli, hands down.
Okay.
I like a lobster tail. You know, I could go with a sfigatello if I wanted to be honest. Nightclare is nice. Tartufo is not bad. I pretty much haven't found a pastry I don't like.
I got you. We do punchkis here, man.
Yeah. All right.
So before we get started, what do you know about watches?
You wear them. They tell you the time. I love watches. I got into watches a little bit later in life, but I have like a 65 watch collection now. Oh, wow. I've become a little obsessed with them. Okay. I really enjoy them. And I don't really know much about them, except I like the way they look. Okay. I was never a jewelry guy. Yeah. Never was. And I like the wear of the feel of a watch. Just
so you know, we're not going to walk through the entire process of making a watch. It took me about 10 years to master movement making and watchmaking.
Sounds like a challenge. Yeah. Give me just the pieces and let me figure it out. So, yeah, leave me in here with just all the pieces and just give me an hour.
For sure. Just a few steps we're going to do. It'll probably still take you a long time.
Okay.
We got you.
All right, man.
First up, we'll assemble our versatile leather strap with our signature quick-release spring bar. Align, buckle, and click.
So we're going to start with the straps first. The straps is usually the last process of making a watch. However, it's the easiest, so that's why we want to start with it first.
I'm feeling the vibe that you don't have much faith in my abilities.
We're going to see how it goes first, and then we're going to crank it up.
I got you.
So what you want to do is, I like to start with the buckle side. Mm-hmm. You always want to put the buckle side at 12 o'clock.
Okay. Buckle at 12.
Buckle at 12.
Yeah.
We put that.
Everybody knows that. Buckle at 12.
Yeah, it's like common knowledge.
That's it. It's like when you put on a belt.
How did growing up in Staten Island shape your perspective as a comedian?
Well, I will say that a lot of my comedy came from my family. Staten Island I grew up in a very loud Italian family, and I definitely got some comedy from my mother and my father. And I think Staten Island was the place for families to grow up in a neighborhood together. I think that was a big piece of it. And of course, I met the boys in Staten Island, so I was on Impractical Jokers, and it was a show with my 4 friends from high school, and I met them in high school. So I know those guys.
Are from Staten Island.
Yeah, we're all from Staten Island. I met those guys over 30 years ago at this point. So if I didn't go there, who knows?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Besides my skills of a watchmaker, I could have just been. I could have had this as a fallback job, but so that's where I met everybody. So Staten Island was a huge part of why I became.
So you guys' charisma is authentic. I can tell.
100%. Yeah, it's not cast. You can tell. I mean, they tried casting other people together as a show as spin-offs, and it just didn't work. But the show was all really about friendship more than anything else. It was more about that than pranks or messing with each other. It was messing with your friends, and everybody could do that. Man. So oh, I got these straps on.
You did it, man. You made it through.
Nailed it.
Now, onto the case back. It's all about precision. Screw in the opposing corners, seal it tight, uphold the Shinola standard.
If you could subject one celebrity to a full-blown Impractical Joker style prank, who would it be and what would the challenge be?
I mean, I've always been a huge fan of Jim Carrey.
Yeah, me too.
And the way he used his body. I'm a physical comedian as well, so to see, he was a big influence for me.
The Mask.
Oh, man, unbelievable what that guy could do and just his delivery. So I would love to see him do anything. I would love for him to be instructing an exercise class. Yeah. I remember that's still one of the favorite things I ever did in the very beginning. We were filming at a gym, and I just went off. The guys were just go crazy. And I remember I went crazy. The dance moves I was making, I had a step in there. I started yelling at people. I was like, let's feel the bird, feel the fucking bird, yelling at people. And they were just into it. I was like, I can imagine that would be really fun for Jim to do, something like that, yeah.
Next up, mastering hand setting. It's an art. Stack, align, set hands in order, and ensure perfection. One misstep, and it's back to the beginning.
So this segment here is called This or That. I'll name 2 things, and you get to pick one, and you only get 1 pass.
Is it rapid fire? Do I have to answer quickly, or can I think about it?
Yeah, you can think about it. Going on tour or filming for television?
That's a good one. I'm going to go with going on tour.
Okay.
I'm going to go on tour because you get in front of the people and you feel the laughter in the room and you feel like you're making a difference in people's lives. Like I really like with my tour that I've been able to have people come out and laugh and not, they're dealing with a bunch of BS in life.
Gotcha.
And it helps them to, I think you give people a night out. I think people need that right now more than the TV thing. I've also done so much the TV. I mean, it's like 300 episodes, a decade of my life. Like I feel like that's fulfilled. So,
I got you. Stand-up comedy or scripted sketches?
Ooh, these are very, very good questions to have here. I like writing, so I would say scripted. Well, you write and stand-up too. It's a different way. But with scripted, you could do like it's collaborative, and I love that part of it too. So I probably would say scripted sketches.
Sweet. Yankees or Mets?
I don't really follow. I'm not a sports guy. My body's built for pastry, not sports. So I would probably say I always root for New York. But if I had to pick one between the two, I'd probably say Yankees.
Gotcha. Podcast or late night talk shows?
Podcast for sure.
Jamila Jamil or Steve Byrne?
Steve Byrne. You can put anybody up against Steve Byrne. You can put my children up against Steve Byrne, and I would say Steve Byrne. Steve Byrne is one of the best humans on earth, and I'm not saying that just because he's in here, but he's just a great guy. I've never met people that are like talk so well about someone. Like everybody never have a bad thing to say about him, which makes me not trust people.
I got you. Pizza or risotto?
Pizza or risotto? What kind of bullshit question is that? Pizza, risotto. I ain't fancy. Can't get risotto. This body? You kidding me?
Staten Island or Los Angeles?
Staten Island.
I figured that one.
Yeah, Staten Island. You can't. Don't forget where you came from. Although I do love LA. I lived in LA for a little bit. I lived there from 2003 to 2005, and that was a lot of fun. Am I pushing the right one? Is it the red one? Is this hour?
That's the hour.
This is not going well. Between me and you, this is not going smoothly.
Looks like it's on there. Is it not on there?
I guess so.
It's on there.
Let's go with it.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs. Some of these bullshit questions. I mean, you give me some layups and I appreciate it, but come on.
Cole Von Cole or Captain Fat Belly?
Now that's the first hard one. I will say I have an affinity for Cole Von Cole, C-O-L-E, B-O-N, C-O-L-E. I was promised snacks. I will say I have an affinity for Cole Von Cole because that comes from in life. Me and Sal were messing around. And I brought that character to TV. It was so I lived in my mom's basement for a long time in my life, and Sal used to come over and we would play video games in my mother's basement where I had my gaming systems. And one night, it was when Lego Star Wars first came out, the first one.
Yeah.
And we were in I'm not doing this very well at all. You're going to have to edit this one. This is a shit show. What's happening here? But Sal slept over and we played till 6 a.m. We played Lego Star Wars. Wow. And it was like 4 a.m. and we just got like giddy and I made up this character and he laughed so hard that he was throwing up. And he was trying to punch me to make me stop laughing. And I just had him. He was in my bathroom throwing up.
Is Sal the one that's always crying when he laughs?
Sal's always crying. That's how I always made Sal laugh, honestly. It was always like a fall down laughter kind of thing. I always get him.
All right. Making people laugh or making a difference?
I think making people laugh does make people a difference. I see them one and the same. I will say, if I have... I can't pick one between because I think me making people laugh does make the difference.
Larry or Scoopsy Potatoes?
Scoopsky Potatoes. The best. Scoopsky Potatoes for sure. I mean, I had fun doing both of those bits. I get Larry more than I get Scoopsky Potatoes, but just the way that came out organically about like the cops. I gotta go. I gotta get the hell out of here. I mean, Larry's great too. I mean, they're both my favorites. But I will say there was a thing about Scoopsky Potatoes, just the way it came about, where I was like, just put everybody at one table. I'm just going to go nuts here. And the boys had no idea what was going to happen, and it was just really fun. So for me, I have an affinity for the potatoes.
Okay. Sweet snacks or savory snacks?
Sweet snacks, yeah. A savory kind of sometimes they feel like a little too bougie. You know, I feel a little bullshitty. I like myself a nice, like, sweet.
Gotcha.
All the time.
Punishment or challenge?
punishment. The punishments are so much fun to plan.
Okay.
Yeah, I love them. Even like sometimes when because in the beginning, like we would just sit in a room and we would just say something that made us laugh. I remember for the massage chair punishment. So there was one where they made me a massage chair, and I had to sit in the mall, and people would sit down, and I had to massage them disguised as a chair. And we literally were sitting in the room during that pre-pro, and I said, "What if I was a massage chair?" And we all laughed hysterically. Like, what happens? I'm like, I don't know. I massage people, and they were like, "That's it." And we wrote up. We had to send in the ideas to the network to approve, and we literally wrote up a massage chair punishment. Joe was a massage chair, and that was it. And we sent it in, and they called, and they were like, "Hey, yeah, this is good. Well, what happens?" And they're like, "Joe's a massage chair," and they're like, "Okay." And it's like, "Yeah, that's it." And they laughed, and they go, "You get it." And they're like, "But what happens?" Like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. And we ended up doing it. It was just really, really fun. So some ideas came out that way, which was interesting. But the punishments were always like a little bit more personal. And one of my favorite things I ever did on the show was there was this one where we just messed with Sal's mind because he gets wrapped up in his own thing, and being a real good friend with him, you know that. I was like, what if we just keep making him think he's getting punished and undo it and then pretend he's not and keep going back and forth, and he's going to implode. And nobody really believed in it. And I was like, guys, trust me, I have these ideas. I wrote up the idea. I was like, this is going to be really fun. And no, back and forth, back and forth. And I just remember eventually just going to Q and going, Q, let me do it. It's going to be funny. And he goes, okay. And we ended up doing it. And then I remember the second thing that we made happen. So the first thing that happens was we had this pretend bungee jump thing set up. And we're like, Sal, it's your punishment at the bungee. He goes, no. In the park, this doesn't look safe. And we're like, just kidding. And he's like, oh, all right. And then the second time we went, Sal, that's your punishment. And he's like, what? And then Q saw how crazy he was getting. He stopped and grabbed me by the shoulders. He goes, you're a genius. I was wrong. And we had one of the best ones. So that was really fun. Just so I think the planning of it is really cool.
Cannolis or tiramisu?
It's tiramisu?
Yeah.
Cannolis or tiramisu? Cannoli. Okay. Yeah. If you want to really give me a thinker, you're going to go cannoli against a lobster tail. That one that might be my pass.
We got one more hard one for you.
Okay, so I'll say cannoli. A hard one. Don't give my two children's names.
Sal, Mur, or Q?
Is it Sal, Mur, or Q?
Or Q.
Oh, gotcha. So
Sal,
I have to pick
Mur, or Q.
Okay, got you. If I have to pick one?
Yep.
That's tough. That would probably be my pass. I will say everybody always asks all the time, oh, who are you closest with? And I will say I'm close with all of them. Q, it depends on the activity I'm doing. If I have to hang out with one, like if I'm going to see a movie, like I like to go with Q. If I'm just hanging out, it's Sal. And if I'm doing something weird, it's Murray.
Okay.
Like that's the breakdown.
I got you. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you made it through that. Surprisingly.
Sure. It looks great. You got it. Let me quality check your ass.
Final challenge. Watch casing in an air-controlled environment with precision, angle, and care, ensuring every Shinola watch remains flawless.
So what has been your most proudest moment in your career?
Oh, that's tough. I will say I recently just played the Beacon Theater in Manhattan for my solo stand-up show, and my kids were there, my wife was there, a bunch of friends and family were there, and it was just a really overwhelming moment. It was the first time that I was did something that was big on my own instead of having to share the spotlight about something, which was really cool. I've been very fortunate with a lot of stuff I've done, but there's just something to that moment. My daughter comes running to me on stage when it's over, the place goes nuts. It was just really, really overwhelming.
Yeah.
Good, really cool moment. But I've been very fortunate for a lot of the stuff I've done. I can't believe half of the things that I've been able to do just because people laugh,
You got any upcoming creative endeavors that you?
I got my kids book coming out, which is really cool. I got to write a kids book, so that's coming out, and I'm excited about that. And it's called Where's Barry? And it's based on a story. My son lost one of his stuffies one night. He lost his stuffed animal. We went on a hunt for it, and I helped him calm himself down because he needs his bear to, he needs his stuffy to sleep. And it's illustrated by a guy, Luke Flowers, who's a big fan of Jokers, so he put a lot of Easter eggs in it. Like there's a picture on the side table of me as a genie, like little things like that, which is really fun. And it came really good, and it came together really nice, and it feels like a cool thing to leave with my kids, that they got their own kids book in it. And my son did something really super sweet. I was showing him the pictures of it, all of it. And I said, how do you like it? He goes, it's good, but one thing's missing. I said, what? He goes, Milana, his sister. He was upset that his sister wasn't in the book. So we added a page where he runs by And his sister's like freaking out and runs by his sister. And I was like, that's so sweet that he was like, she's got to be part of it, you know? So it's really cool. And I'm excited for that. So.
Are you going to plan on like doing more of that?
Yeah, I think so, man. I really enjoyed that. I went from a guy, I used to work in the baby business, and I used to sell books, kids' books, and I always liked them. And then I became a dad, so I read to them. And now I'm an author to be in the homes. It's really just a cool progression, and I really liked it. So the whole process is really fun. So I think I'm going to probably hit that up again.
I'm going to keep a lookout for it. I got some kids myself.
Oh,
so,
do you?
Yeah.
All right. I know I'll book you. If you got $18.99, I can send you a promo code. You know, I'll hook you up if I walk out one of these watches. We can work something out. Hit cut on the cameras.
All right, man. Well, before we wrap up here, do you want to give any shout-outs to your fans? You got any upcoming projects you want to?
Nah. Buy a watch from Shinola. They're awesome. How about that? That's good. No, yeah. Follow me on Instagram. You know, it's at Joe_Gatto. That's where you can follow everything I'm doing. I got my kids' book coming out, like I said, which I'm pretty excited about. And, of course, listen to Two Cool Moms, the podcast with me and Steve Byrne, where we give motherly advice to people to help them solve their dilemmas. Yeah, and that's it. This was really fun. You're good at this. I hope you enjoyed it.
You're really good at this.
I'm not bad, right?
Man.
So if it all don't work out in the comedy career, you're hiring?
Yes, sir. I got a job for you.
That's awesome, dude. Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah, all right. Crushed it.
All right, Joe. Thanks for joining us at the movement, man.
All right.
You wanna leave your signature for us here?
You got it. I put my name.
Yes.
Okay.
You want to. Put mine too.
You didn't sign this? You should sign it. You're the talent. I know what time it is. You see that? That's like a catchphrase. You can do that if you want.
Gotcha.
Thank you. Really fun.